Hi everyone. I am here at my office doing a terrible job of staying home, sadly. I wanted to talk to you about the thing that everybody is talking about, coronavirus. And not from a standpoint of trying to make anybody more scared or more worried about this. I feel like this is actually pretty well in hand if you look at the numbers and how things are projecting out. What I wanted to talk about is this is going on. It exists. Are there things from this that we can take as investors, as real estate professionals, as people that have an interest in real estate in general, that we can take from this that help better inform the decisions we make going forward? Because obviously some big doings are going on, big things are happening. Most of them are emergency things that have to be done to preserve the economy and make sure people can pay rent and all of these other things. But those things have consequences, and do those consequences in some way have a benefit to us, or have a benefit we can make customers aware of to help them achieve more, to help us or them make more money and do better for ourselves? So there's a couple of things that have gone on. One is the Federal Reserve has been making big moves. One of the things they've done is they've lowered the interest rate 150 basis points on the short-term lending, the bank rate. People have been going nuts thinking they're going to refinance and do super well for themselves. And the reality of it is that hasn't really translated into the mortgage rates just yet. It may not. But the big thing that they've done, the thing that I want to talk about, is they released $4 trillion into the economy with a bunch of different things that they're doing. But basically what it's done is injected $4 trillion of cash into the U.S. economy. The problem with that is it makes money less scarce. When money becomes less scarce, we experience inflation. Inflation means that this thing, something that cost $1 before, now costs $1.10. The thing itself hasn't changed, but the cost of it for us, the number of dollars we need to exchange for that same thing, has increased. Also, you have the government passing this big stimulus bill. The stimulus bill plus the other two that they passed, it's over $3 trillion. They expect it possibly to go as high as $10 trillion total that they're going to spend. The problem with that is they don't have the 10 trillion, they don't have the 2 trillion, they don't have any money. They actually are working in a deficit. They are borrowing money in order to do this. And the thing is, they were struggling to make the debt payments previous to this. Now you have a year where they were projecting revenues. The economy was very strong coming into this. They're projecting revenues to be way down. Obviously, businesses are closed. They're not making sales. So the tax money that growth was going to generate isn't going to be there. Plus wages, people have left the workforce, and people also have taken pay cuts because they don't have as many hours or whatever else. So all of that income they were anticipating isn't going to be there. That means it's going to be even harder for them to take and pay their bills, in addition to adding several $1 trillion to the already existing debt. What this means is this government is going to have to do what lots of governments have done in the past and print more money in order to pay those bills. Once again, money becomes less scarce, money becomes less valuable. This is not a problem depending upon where your money is. If you're somebody who's upside down in their house, still from 2008, this is good for you, because the actual value of your property is going to go up, because the value of the money people are going to buy it with is going to go down, which means that while your house isn't really any more valuable, the money that people are giving you has become less valuable, so they have to give you more of it to buy the same property. This is good in that sense. It's also good in the sense that you will have anyone that owns real estate or any commodities should do just fine, because they're automatically adjust to keep pace with inflation. Those folks are going to do well. The folks that are going to be in trouble are two groups of people: the folks that are on fixed incomes and the folks that are saving their money. Folks that are saving their money in a bank account or savings account, someplace where they're not earning enough to keep pace with inflation. Inflation has been fairly low. If inflation is higher, if inflation ticks up 4 or 5%, that means you have to be making 4 or 5% of your money just to be standing still. Now, typically, that's going to happen in real estate. Real estate will go up to keep pace with that. But the other thing that's interesting with that, the people that actually do win really well with this, that are going to do good, are folks that have borrowed money on their property. If I borrow $100,000 from the bank today and they set my payment based upon, hey, we gave you $100,000 and you have to pay us back in 30 years, and here's your fixed payment for the next 30 years. If money becomes less valuable, every time I'm making a payment to them, I'm paying them with less and less valuable money. What I mean by that is, let's say that 100,000, that payment was going to represent a third of my income. Well, now because money has become less valuable, I'm making more. They have to pay me more just for me to have the same standard of living I had before. That that mortgage payment no longer represents a third of my income because it's fixed. It doesn't change. Maybe now it represents a tenth of my income. This is a very good thing for anybody that has a mortgage in place. Also, anybody that owns investment property. The thing that goes up with the value of the property typically is the rents. Now, that could take a while to happen because you have a situation now where a lot of hourly people are out of work and all. But just wanted to give you that little piece of possible positive to come from this, that real estate and those investing in real estate should do really, really well. Hope this helps. A little longer than normal, but I hope you enjoy.